And we're live.
We're
Hey,
live.
something looks different today, of all days. What's going on here?
Happy congratulations to the Dodgers.
Happy World Series back to back.
Back to back.
It was a interesting series and a very interesting game. Well, both games 6 and 7 were.
Well, no. Six
Seven
wasn't
was
interesting at all.
well,
We didn't.
7 was. Why don't we go
Se-
back to our normal view?
well, what was the 18 inning one? That was
That was
that was
five,
crazy.
wasn't it?
Yeah, we are not normally sports ball people, but Lindsay's family is heavily invested in the Dodger life, and so
And if
we
if it doesn't show, it's rubbed off on us. At least while we're here.
a little bit, yeah, a
It's
little
hard
bit.
not to get into it
I think we
when you're
missed
in
the
this
first two
household.
games and then watched the rest of them
Yeah.
door to door. But yeah, it was pretty fun. I thought it was a cool series. We had fun. We had a good
Yeah,
time.
Jill, it turns out that I think the only people who are Dodgers fans in California live near the LA area. Because down south it's the Padres, up north it's the Giants or some other team.
Yeah, people around here
It,
spit on you
it's
for wearing a Dodger hat.
yeah, and we're down in San Diego, so the Padres. It was weird. We were walking around the Halloween with the kids and the grandkids, and a few places had Dodger games playing, either outside or you could see, through the windows, and almost all of them were Padres fans, hoping the Dodgers would lose. That's why they were watching, not because they wanted the Blue Jays to win so that the Dodgers would lose.
Yeah. Well, I think people just like Canada right now.
Yeah, yeah,
Schadenfreude. Well,
yeah.
hey, I haven't
Schadenfreude.
done roll
Roll
call
call.
yet.
Yes.
We've got a pair of Bruces, a Frank, a Mike, a Jill, Lynn, and John, and Sutter, and Ron, and Sandy, and Seamus, and Steve. Where's Zoe? Somebody
Anyone?
wake up Zoe.
Well, with this time zone shift, what happens? Is it harder for her now?
Well, now it's 8 hours again. It was 7 hours last week, so it's back to 8 hours. So
And anyone in the sidebar we miss? Speak up now.
forever hold your peace. We don't want to hear about it if it's later.
All right.
All right, I'm going to start recording the show. Are you
Okay.
ready? What is
Yeah.
blinking over there? Oh, jeez.
What is it?
I keep seeing something out of the corner of my
Oh,
eye.
that's voice activated.
So every time I talk, I'm seeing this in the background.
Turn the lights out, then you really get a good effect.
Oh, yeah, let's do that. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan from the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeed.com. Maybe I should just put it beside me. Can you still see it there?
That's going to be distracting, but that's okay.
Can you see it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
in the corner.
Might be. It's bothering me enough being behind me. I just because every time I'd look at it, it would stop doing it because I wasn't talking. Ooh, what do you think of this night glow?
Yeah, it's kind of a Halloween look.
Oh, is that better than this?
Yeah, I think the color is better.
Yeah, it's kind of
I
yellow.
think
the other way.
that overhead fluorescent light has got some weird colors going on.
Yeah, I forgot
Same
my
as
red
this.
backlight. So, all right.
All right, get going.
Okay, I put it on the floor where I can't see it. I keep whipping around.
I think there's an off switch on that.
Oh, is there?
Yeah.
That's another way to go. Wait, I bet this unplugging thing would work.
Yeah, that'll do it too. All right.
All right, here we go. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeed.com. Technology Geek podcast with an ever so slight Apple bias. Today is Sunday, October 2nd, 2025, and this is show number 1069. Well, just last week, on October 29th, in my review of the site-specific browser creating app Unite, I reported that it was inaccessible to screen readers. I told the audience that I'd written to the developer. Turns out Benjamin has already released an update, version 6.5, that vastly improves accessibility. All of the buttons that I said were labeled simply button are now labeled. And better yet, you can even navigate around with these elements. It's not perfect yet, but it's pretty usable with VoiceOver. I can't believe he did this much work in literally 5 days since I pointed out the missing features. If you're a VoiceOver user and were interested in the app, I highly encourage you to give it a try. And when you find issues with VoiceOver support, let Benjamin know. Remember, it's available from SetApp or from bzgapps.com. Isn't that amazing? Literally
Yeah,
5 days after I told him.
That's
He
pretty impressive turnaround.
yeah. Copy link. I might give a little chapter mark on that. 39. Come on. All right. I'm doing a little different setup. I have a full keyboard and trackpad this time with my laptop has to be fairly far away for the angle and things and for the thing not to flop over with the way I've got it set up here at Lindsay's house. And I finally brought a trackpad and a keyboard, so I'm not I'm always complaining about wrapping my arms around the microphone. I think this might be a better setup. It's a lot of junk to carry, but what are you going to do?
If it works.
Yeah. All right.
Mike is asking, did you say October 2nd in the intro? You had it written October 2nd. It is October 2nd, right? Is that?
No, it's probably November 2nd.
Oh, no, you're right.
Thank you.
No, it's November 3rd? Wait a minute.
Is it really? No, it's November 2nd.
It's November 2nd, but you're right. Thank you, Mike. God, I was thinking October still, too.
So this is excessive automation.
Yeah, why didn't that work?
Because I wrote the show notes last Wednesday, and I changed the date from whatever Wednesday's date was to this date, but I didn't notice it was going to be November.
Ah.
Okay, let's see. Let me zoom in a little bit, and we'll see. I think I fumbled a little bit on part of that. Just this. All right, let's try that again. Thank you very much, Ron.
Yep, good catch.
Oh, yeah, it's probably the 3rd in Japan. All right. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted by Podfeet. Hi, this is Allison Sheridan of the NosillaCast podcast, hosted at podfeet.com, a technology geek podcast with an ever so slight Apple bias. Today is Sunday, November 2nd, 2025, and this is show number 1069.
I like the emphasis on November.
Did you? You like that?
Only the chat room will understand that emphasis.
Yep. Emphasis on the wrong syllable. Let's see. Now we got to do a little ambiance. Okay. Thank you so much. That was wonderful.
That's really one of the reasons we like our chat room. One of the many reasons.
I was going to say, nope, that's just about it.
That's it. Yeah. I said one of. Not just one. One of.
It's the only reason. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
2 weeks ago, I wrote an extensive article on the trials and tribulations of taking screenshots with macOS Tahoe and its fancy rounded windows. The two problems to be solved were that some screenshot methods didn't capture transparent corners for the rounded windows, and the windows in macOS don't have borders on them, so they blend into white backgrounds when you take screenshots, like on my blog posts. I had two solutions to the problems. One was to use my beloved shotter to add a tiny gray backdrop that matches the radius of the screenshot. It's pretty simple and reliable, but I do have to mess with the radius from time to time, depending on the shape of the captured window. I also created a tiny bit nerdier process to achieve my goal. I created a pretty simple retro batch automation to add a nice rounded border to my screenshots. I then embedded the retro batch action into Keyboard Maestro so I could add a keystroke to invoke it and then save the screenshot to the clipboard. I was quite proud of having such a sweet solution. But I mused at the end of the article on whether I could automate this even further. macOS comes with a command line version of a screenshot tool called Screen Capture. There's also a super powerful open source library called ImageMagick designed to help you manipulate images. I wondered whether I could write one script that used both of these tools to take me end to end in capturing. I wondered. I wondered whether I could write one script that used both of these tools to take me end to end in capturing screenshots and adding rounded borders without using RetroBatch. The answer is yes. Yes, I can. Did I need this solution? No, I did not. Did I do it anyway? Well, you know the answer to that. Before I get into it, if you're not into super nerdy stuff I do, you might still be interested because at the end I have a much less nerdy solution. Using the screen capture tool from the Is anybody yelling save? Using the screen capture tool from the command line is actually super simple. The command is screen capture, and then you follow that with a hyphen and single letters that are called flags, and those give the command instructions. I use 3 flags to make it do what I want. I use -C to send the screen capture to the clipboard, then -I to make the screen capture interactive, allowing me to switch between window and area capture with the spacebar as I'm taking the screenshot, just like the normal way to do it when screenshotting windows with any other tool. Finally, I want to make sure there's no shadow, so I use the -O to disable the shadow. When you put it all together, the command is simply screen capture -CIO. That's it. You can try it right now by opening Terminal and typing that in. Your cursor will turn into a crosshair, drag across an area, or hit spacebar to capture the whole window instead, and you'll have a screenshot on your clipboard. I think it's super fun to know this exists, and I'm pretty darn sure it's what's under the hood in tools like Shotter, CleanShotX, and the built-in screenshot app from Apple. Now, the much harder part was to figure out how to use ImageMagick to round the corners and add the border. As I mentioned last time, ImageMagick is an open source library that is super powerful, but with that power comes a lot of complexity. And using it over the years, I've pretty much never written anything to work on it. Read what it says. In using it over the years, I've pretty much never written any of it on my own. I've always heavily borrowed from the work of others on the internet. Like I've used it before, I looked around for forums where people were working with that ImageMagick, but I couldn't find anything recent and certainly nothing relevant to the task at hand. It was time to turn to AI. I tried a new AI assistant that I hadn't tried before and for which I wasn't paying to get the better version, and it kind of had me running in circles. The main problem it had was that it kept trying to convince me that a particular paste command would work. It wouldn't work, it would apologize, and suggest something else that didn't work. I'd correct it again, and it would go back to the first wrong idea it had. After twice around that loop, I abandoned that whole path, that AI assistant, and I switched back to ChatGPT. Now, the first command. Now, the command the first AI assistant kept wanting me to use but wouldn't work was pb paste. This command grabs the content from the system clipboard and then pastes it. But I believe it can only do text, not images, and that's why it wasn't working. I went back to ChatGPT, and it suggested I install another library via Homebrew, and that library is called PNG Paste. And that did allow my little script to access the system clipboard containing the PNG screenshot. I'm not saying ChatGPT didn't send me down a bunch of wrong paths too, but at least they weren't circular paths. After ChatGPT and I went back and forth for quite some time, I achieved my goal. I have no intention of explaining the entire ImageMagick process to you, but I'd like to share the final script. I have no intention of explaining this entire thing to you, but I will share the final script in the show notes, and I'm going to call out some highlights. The only reason I have a hope of understanding most of what the script is doing is that I asked ChatGPT to comment the daylights out of it. Let's walk through some of the highlights. The first section is to initiate the screenshot, as I explained earlier. It just says screen capture -CIO. The next section initiates some variables to store the captured PNG, store the output PNG, ants, it's gonna create a mask in order to make my rounded border. If you're familiar with the way doing image masking works, you'll understand what that means. It still then needs a variable for the mask PNG. So it needs to create those three variables. Then it uses that PNG paste command to capture the screenshot from the clipboard. As I mentioned, the script is going to create a mask, and in order to do that, it needs to know the image. Sorry, I am distracted because I'm having a problem. Boy, I might need. Oh shoot, where's Grumpy? I might need some help.
Mike's here.
It's changing my. I just also. Oh, there he is, Mike. It's changing my quotes into, maybe I'm doing smart quotes or something. It's putting an ampersand QUOT semicolon into the show notes, and I fixed it once. Well, you tell me, when you look at the first block of code there that starts with in PNG, out PNG, mask PNG, you see that section?
Yes.
In the last line, does it say PNG and then you see quotation marks, or do you see ampersand quote semicolon?
Quotation. PNG paste quote dollar in ping.
Unquote. Okay, good. It's just messed up in
Mars Edit.
Mars Edit.
Yeah.
That's good to know. Okay. Let's see. From the clipboard. Okay. Good. As I mentioned, the script is going to create a mask, and in order to do that, it needs to know the dimensions of the input PNG. Image magic, which is called in the command line with a simpler command, just magic. By the way, it's MAG. I'm studying so much. Image magic, which is called with the simpler command, just magic, MAGICK, it can query the image to find those values. So in the script, it assigns a W variable and an H variable for the width and height it finds. In my prompts to ChatGPT, I told it to make the desired radius for the corners 54 pixels, so it hard-coded that into the script with an R equals 54. Now, it's only because of the comments that I have any hope at all of understanding the next part. The script will create a mask the same size as the image. First, it will be all black, which means it'll be fully transparent. I've never understood that terminology, but that's what they say. Then it will draw a white rounded rectangle of the same width and height, and then a screenshot. No, I'm distracted by the fact that some word was misspelled. Maybe not. Maybe I imagined that. Let's see. I've never understood that terminology, but that's what they say. Okay. Then it will draw a white rounded rectangle of the same width and height as the screenshot, -1, and with a radius of 54. That white rounded rectangle will be fully opaque, and that -1 keeps the stroke within the bounds of the original screenshot. Again, I don't completely understand what I just said, but something along those lines. In the next bit, it draws the 2-pixel medium gray border inside the rounded shape, where medium gray is defined with the hex color code 888888. The code to do this step looks very much like a cat walked across the keyboard, and we are not going to go through it. Now, in a surprise turn of events, ChatGPT suggested using AppleScript to write the image back to the system clipboard. I would have thought we would have used our fancy PNG paste command we learned earlier, but the comment suggests that you might end up with a TIFF if you do that. You remember from last time, the TIFF ended up with those opaque, or was it semi-transparent, corners, exactly like what we're trying to avoid. In any case, Ray Robertson will be glad his beloved AppleScript comes to the rescue. With the full script written and safely saved in my Git controlled folder on my Mac, I pasted the contents into a new Keyboard Maestro macro, added a keyboard shortcut, and it works. I can use my keystroke, capture an area or a full window, and immediately hit paste into a document, and I see my lovely rounded rectangle screenshot with those thin gray borders. I have successfully replaced a perfectly functioning retro batch process with a shell script method instead. Can't call it a squirrel. I have successfully replaced a perfectly functioning retro batch process with a shell script method instead. Maybe not a necessary step for me, but if you don't own retro batch, you could use my fancy script for free. Well, this works and it does what I asked it to do. The screenshots were not quite ideal. Remember that developer Steve Harris told us that while the corners of the new Mac OS and iOS 26 windows have a large radius, he said there were 50 pixels, not 52, like I'd been led to believe by ChatGPT, and windows without a toolbar are smaller at around 30 pixels. When I used my hard coded 54 pixel radius in my script, all screenshots got the same radius. That means when I take screenshots of windows with the smaller radius, visible elements can get cropped in the corners with that larger radius. I thought maybe I could just add one more enhancement. I gave ChatGPT a copy of my completed shell script, and I asked it to change the hard-coded r equals 54 radius assignment to give the user a choice. Since I was at it, I decided to make the two choices 52 pixels and 32 pixels to match up with Steve's measurements, adding 2 pixels for the border. ChatGPT enlisted our old friend AppleScript again to pop up a window offering 52 or 32 with 52 selected as the default. Now I can use my Keyboard Maestro keystroke, take a screenshot, window or selection, click the appropriate radius for the window I just captured, and instantly I've got my nice rounded rectangle screenshot with a lovely medium gray 2-pixel border. Now, I promised you that if you're not into the super nerdy stuff, I would give you a less nerdy solution. I did want to give you an update on the Shotter method as well. In my previous article, I explained that my beloved Shotter app was creating opaque corners, leaving these ugly wedges in the corners. I told you I'd reported this to the developer, and he hadn't yet been able to replicate the problem, but we had high hopes that it was something I was doing on my end that was causing the problem. Last week, the lovely Max, developer Shotter, got back to me about the problem with non-transparent corners. He got back to me with the discovery that I was half right, that Shotter was messing up the corners. I had said they were opaque, and when he tested, they looked transparent, but it turned out they were semi-transparent. Now, who knew there was an option in between? He fixed the problem, sent me a beta of Shotter to test, and now my Shotter screenshots are truly transparent. This means I can have a super quick workflow with Shotter that gives me everything I want. If I use Command-Shift-4, it invokes Shotter to take the screenshot and then opens the app. If I hit the letter K, Shotter switches to the backdrop function I told you about last week and drops in that little border for me. I can easily change the outer radius to match the radius of the given screenshot, and it looks fabulous. If you read my massive article on Unite to make site-specific browsers, or if you just scroll through there to look at the pretty screenshots, you'll see the work of Shotter doing this workflow. I think there are 27 screenshots in that post, and they were all super easy to make. Command-Shift-4, spacebar, K, Command-Shift-S to save. Working with responsive developers, such a joy, and one of the reasons I love doing this kind of work. So many thanks to Max of Shotter. Now, the bottom line is I was telling Bart about my... I want to say bottom line. Save. Thank you, Kevin. I don't think anybody told me to save before you got here. Maybe they did. Who knows?
Sandy did.
Oh, thank you, Sandy. As I was telling Bart about my joy at creating the shell script version of a screenshot tool, I also told him that now Shotter can do the same thing for me. I told him that while I do still love Shotter, I might love my little shell script tool just a teeny bit more. He explained perfectly why that is. He said, "You made it yourself, so it tastes better." Actually, that's backwards, isn't it? It tastes better because you made it yourself. He explained perfectly why that is. He said, "It tastes better because you made it yourself." If you were talking about food, that's what you'd say, right?
Yes. Particularly if you were the cook.
Yeah.
So, I'm trying to go back and find the comment that made me laugh a lot. Oh yeah, it was Ron. Okay. So we're talking about trick or treat, and then someone brought up trunk or treat, which I know Lindsay and Nolan had done the night before with the grandkids. And Ron asked, trunk or treat? Like he hadn't heard of the term before, and I explained what it was, and he says, better than costume youth driven around in car trunks. Can you imagine you're carrying your kids around in costumes, but in the trunk? And they get out occasionally, and you let them go to the door and get there.
Yeah, is anybody checking in on Ron and his family there? Make sure he's okay.
So, oh, you just arrived. Kevin arrived, of course. You saw that, but they are away at a little end of year, end of season celebration. I think it was soccer, not
Baseball.
baseball.
I think it was baseball.
But they will probably arrive at towards the end of the show. Arrive
Yep.
back here.
Lindsay promised they would be here for the kids to come on because I know you guys would be devastated if you didn't see a 5-year-old and a 9-year-old talking on the show.
Yeah. And we will know as soon as they arrive. There will be plenty of noise.
Right. Is the audio and video more stable since they're not here streaming YouTube TV at the same time?
I've seen a couple little hiccups, little glitches, but not. I think not quite as bad as we've seen in the past, but not a huge difference.
Okay. I don't think it was soccer. It was baseball. Well, we'll find out.
Well, their last soccer game was yesterday.
Yeah. Oh, I think you're right. I remember the team mom saying.
Yeah.
So, do you guys remember physics nerd Graham?
Mm-hmm.
Was asking the live audience, but okay,
Oh,
good.
well, I'm live.
Yeah, you are. He did that whole long sequence of stuff about how he uses PowerPoint or Keynote, I forget which it was, to make his slides and little videos for his to teach physics stuff. He has changed his name to Eddie Tonkoy.
Now that's a pen name, not legal name, right?
Right. Well, let's give a listen and see. I think he talks about it at the very beginning here. Yourself.
Hello, this is Eddie Tonkoy with a...
Okay, actually,
Oh, this is the first time he's introduced himself that way on the show.
yes.
So it's
And
more
he
than
only
just a pen
obliquely
name; it's a persona.
Yeah, he's Eddie Tonkoy in the chat room now, or in Slack. Self.
Hello, this is...
Too slow, too fast. Another breath.
Hello, this is Eddie Tonkoy with an article about a rather neat microphone, the Shure MV7 Plus, which you're listening to right now. You may remember an article about the Mackie EM98MS shotgun microphone back in December of 2024. Well, that was me, but under a different pseudonym. This is the first of what I hope to be many articles here as Eddie.
I'm hearing some clicking.
That could be my chair.
Oh.
It's a little creaky.
Yeah, maybe you want to
Mute.
mute. Yeah.
Well, that was me, but under a different pseudonym. This is the first of what I hope to be many articles here as Eddie Tonkoy, but curiously enough, this is the second episode I have appeared in. I will leave that as a puzzle for the host to work out. Anyway, enough of that. I have a thing for nice pieces of kit, and the Shure MV7 Plus is my latest. Since I like Alison's preferred structure, let's start with the problem to be solved. Now, I have used an iRig condenser microphone in the past to record good audio, including my YouTube videos that I also did articles about, and then used software to clean up the inevitable background noise from a fairly cheap condenser microphone in a suboptimal environment. I relatively recently upgraded to a Mackie EM98MS shotgun microphone, which is superb for what it is, that being a microphone you can get out of video shot and still sound great. However, I'm about to embark on a new project, which is going to entail recording hundreds of hours of audiobook audio for my wife Joan Tonkoy's fiction over the coming years, and the Mackie is not optimized for that. It is good, but picks up background noise that leaks in through the bedroom windows and isn't very consistent. Actually, that's a bit unfair, as I'm sure it's me that is not consistent, but the result is the same, variable sound tone. So, I wanted to move to a microphone setup that would give a consistent, warm tone, eliminate background noise as much as possible, and ideally handle my distracting mouth noise that I still create. So to get to my solution, ChatGPT and Llama, more on that another time, pointed me towards condenser microphones, consistently pointed me towards Shure, and once I'd loosened the purse strings a little, pointed me towards the Shure MV7 line. Oddly enough, the MV7 line is not a condenser line, but more on that later. There are a few variations of the MV7, which are probably worth going over, but I looked at the expected quality, the promised specs, and the trustworthy name, and decided that if I'm going to spend 100 hours recording, I'd spend the money on quality. I also sprang for a decent metal-rimmed nylon pop filter to go with it.
All right. I'm not going to let you hear the whole thing because it's wonderful. I love his content. I love it so much. Got a job at Shure. Oh, that's interesting. So did you guys see that clip I just said? We just happened to be watching a Columbo that played where
Oh,
he's
that's right.
actually at Universal Studios and he runs around this one little bay and right up to where the shark comes out at him. That's where they
Yeah.
filmed it. Let's see.
Recorded during the last year with the Mackie.
Well, thank you so much for that, Eddie. It is confusing for me with the name switch, but I'm going to try to keep up. I really appreciate you doing this review, and I've always been a fan of the Shure microphones. We've interviewed them a couple of times at CES, and the Shure MV7 Plus does sound like a terrific microphone. Your voice sounds fantastic, and all the work that you're not going to have to do processing the audio afterwards, that's great. And I'm definitely looking forward to all of the content you have coming. Use a Shure MV7? Oh, nice.
Did you say Graham?
Did I say Graham? I said Eddie.
Okay.
Didn't I?
I'm
play it
thinking
back.
Graham.
Well, thank
but
you so much for that, Eddie. It is
okay, good.
good to double check. All right. Yeah, in the review he talks about the MV7 versus the 7 Plus, and they're basically the same mic. I think this is only USB, and yours might be USB and XLR, or vice versa. Yeah.
You have both the MV7 and MV7 Plus?
No, she has
Oh.
the 7, not Plus.
Oh, and it has both USB
Wait, no.
and
Yeah. Oh, I have both. I have both USB and
XLR.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. All right. I think his is just USB. Oh, you know what? The ATR 2100 has been discontinued. After,
Wait,
Yes.
you're talking about this guy?
Uh,
Isn't this the ATR 2100?
no, you're using an SM58, I think.
Oh, right.
I'm using an ATR 2100 though, 2100 X USB or something like that. Yeah, they finally discontinued it. It's a mic I've been using on and off since I started podcasting. By the way, that makes a lot of noise when you're doing that.
Yeah, that was a mic drop. Unintentional.
All right, time to panhandle.
Actually, it
for money.
was a interface drop.
All right, mute yourself. Come on. If you get value out of the NosillaCast, Chit Chat Across the Pond, or Programming by Stealth, or all three, whether it's through reading the blog post or listening to the content, or both, I'd really like it if you'd consider making a donation to the show to demonstrate the value you receive. It's a lot of work to put these shows together, and though it is definitely a labor of love, it does cost money to produce them, and it'd be nice to get some love in return. You can go to podfeet.com/Patreon or one of the many single-time payment methods to show that love. All right. So, yeah. It's really funny to call this title Alistair on Knits. But it'll make sense when you hear some of it.
No blog post on this one, so. Oh, I'm hearing some noise. Either that's Kepler or the kids.
All right. Well, that's fine because
Yeah, it's the kids.
The kids?
Well, unless Kepler started talking. You never know.
All right. If you talk to them, you could tell them I'm actually almost done. Okay, where's Alistair? Get Alistair out of here. Let's see.
Yeah.
Desktop. Files. Alistair goes here. And Alistair. Yeah, Alistair had something cool to talk about, and he was like, "Oh man, I'll really try to find the time this weekend to do it." And I said, why don't we just do a conversation?" And he was like, "Really? I can pick that?" And so,
So this is nits in the like display sense, or just like nits and bits,
nits
odds
in
and
the
ends. Okay.
display sense. All right, I'm gonna need to move these to that, and then get ready for your plink. Are you ready?
Wait. Oh no! I'm not ready. No. We have to see the plink to fully appreciate the plink. Okay.
Okay.
Plink.
Oh, that was
Oh,
crisp,
yeah.
crisp and to the
I
point.
didn't hear an N in there. I just heard like a plick.
Almost a plick.
Yeah.
It was his
Should
his
you might
accent.
have to have him go redo that.
Let's see which one's here. Oh, he recorded himself on both channels. Huh. Well, good thing I didn't need him as a fallback. All right.
You might want to remember that for the next time. That may be part of his process, not
Yeah,
remembering.
we spent a bunch of time with restarting his audio hijack stuff, and he hadn't used it in a long time. So
Hmm.
let's see how this plays. At love. In our Slack community, the most lovely Alistair Jenks, who you hear from time to time, especially when I'm away, Alistair started talking about some interesting stuff about looking at photos on a high quality screen and maybe wanting to see it not high quality, and it got pretty interesting. And whenever somebody says something interesting in the Slack, I always try to punish them by making them do a recording for the show. But Alistair and I got chatting and thought it might be even more fun if we did it as a conversation, because I was pretty sure I'd have a lot of questions. So that's all by way of saying that Alistair Jenks and Allison Sheridan on a recording at the same time. This hardly ever happens. Hi, Alistair.
It's been a while. It's good to be here.
Oh, I got to fix the title. It says Marker 7. Alistair on Nits when it shouldn't say Marker 7. There we go. I'll give you a little bit more, but not much. Oh, nope.
Wow, it's good to be here. Yeah, I forget how we got onto the topic of photos, but I sent you one of my Japan photos of a nice garden, and suggested you have a look at it on your XDR monitor. And I've actually grabbed our conversation here where I was talking about it, and I basically said that when I show my photos at work on a big 32-inch AOS monitor, they look good. And I grabbed my iPad Mini, which is an Apple screen, which is of course better, and that looks so much better. But the XDR screens are a cut above, and in fact they're so good that I've turned down the peak on my MacBook Pro to 600 nits, because it normally goes to 1600, because when I edit it in 1600 nits, it looks fantastic on an XDR screen, and it looks like absolute garbage on any other screen. So I've had to figure out that, where you edit definitely affects what you see everywhere.
I was just playing around. One of my quests in life has been to get a good photo of a bird of paradise. And they're a
Yeah.
particularly difficult flower to capture because they're kind of two-dimensional. So you can really only get a good picture of them flat onto the side, but they've got a little bit of depth, and there's always another flower that's getting confused because they all look in different directions. They're really hard to do. Took a spectacular shot of it the other day, and I posted it, and then I looked at it as it had been squashed through social media, and it didn't have any of the light and the vibrance and the excitement of the photo I was looking at. And I'm wondering whether editing it on the XDR screen had caused the same problem.
It could do, because the bird of paradise has that really vibrant orange, but also the deep, deep purple. So there's a lot of contrast in that.
Right, the
And
dynamic range of the colors.
making that pop is a I'll also just, there's a chap that I watch on YouTube, and I've also paid for some courses from him by the name of Simon de Montremont. Looks like Simon, but it's Simon because he's French Canadian. And he says the last step before exporting your photo is to leave it alone for half an hour and then come back. And I found that's very, very true, because not only does your screen affect it, and that's what we're going to talk about in a moment, but also you just get so lost in the photo that you actually fail to see what you're creating.
Oh, interesting. One of the
Yeah.
things I make heavy use of is the undo button. Or in Apple Photos where I edit, I just use the little button that says, okay, take away all my changes. And usually the picture looks way better than it did. But if I can also do undo one step. And if I've been messing with vibrance or brilliance or anything like that, I'm often going, oh man, what was I nuts? What was I doing? Because it's like, it looks like a cartoon, but it looked really good at the time I was doing it. And that seems to be along that same vein of being able to look at it with a different eye.
Yeah, it certainly is. I mean, I've actually gone through editing sessions of 20, 30, even 40 photos and got them all looking really good, and then published them all. And then when you put them all side by side, you can see that 2 or 3 of them are just like too dark or too flat, and it's like I just went through that and I was looking at that individual photo, but for some reason you just
Stop being
lose
able to see it.
perspective on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd never heard of that. That's an interesting way to go. So, when you start talking about monitors, you're using the terminology of XDR, and I know Apple put XDR in the MacBook Pros. And is it XDR in the Studio display?
No, the studio display, I don't know what they call it,
Okay.
but the studio display is like the old iMacs, or the new iMacs for that matter. It's a really good screen, but it's not XDR. And I think
Okay.
the main difference is the brightness.
Okay. And the MacBook Air is not XDR.
Correct.
Okay, that was one of the big distinguishing things, or people said was a big distinguishing thing. Part of what I did when you gave me that gorgeous photo from Japan of the garden is I put it on my MacBook Pro and I put it on my MacBook Air. And I know I should look at the two and go, wow, that MacBook Pro looks better. But I can't really tell the difference. I mean, they look great. It looked great on both of them. I mean, it looked slightly different, maybe a little bit more muted, but I definitely wouldn't have gone, oh, that looks terrible on the MacBook Air.
I suspect it's that particular photo. Like if you got a really well, really intensely edited picture of one of the bird of paradise flowers and tried that on both,
Yeah,
it would pop a lot more. I think
Yeah.
you need the contrast to see it.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, this is a lot of the same kind of colors of green, but the sky has a lot of texture in it.
Yeah. But yeah, I think you need striking colors to really appreciate the difference.
Okay. So you turn down the max brightness from 1600 nits down to 600. Now, my understanding of the 1600 nits is that it really isn't the whole screen is 1600 nits. It's localized. You're not going to know the answer to that. Oh, that's cool, Ron. I like that. One of the problems is they're such confusing flowers too. You know, they all look in different directions.
And it's hard to find birds of paradise that have no blemishes. They all seem to have some. I find it.
know.
I mean, most of them have like a brown leaf. Now, maybe you could pick off the brown leaf, but
I don't know. I think it's pretty easy to find. They're either dying or they're fresh and they look amazing. I don't find that to be a big problem. Nitpicking. Yeah, I mean, I could call it Alistair on nitpicking.
there you go. That's
Is
got
that
a nice ring
better
to
than
it.
Alistair on nits?
How about Alistair Nitpicks?
Yeah. Why
Well,
not?
on nitpicking works.
All right. Then I'm going to change it in.
Yeah, on nitpicking I think is better.
Wait. On nitpicking? You just said
Well-
nitpicks.
So they actually have two different meanings, right?
Okay, that's your last time you get to change it. In fact, it's on nitpicks. No, on nitpicking?
Yes.
Jeez.
How are you going to spell
Wait, let
nitpicking?
me see. Oh, stop.
Hyphenated?
What is wrong with your chair?
Oh
Are you
yeah.
in like a 1938 rocking chair?
Yeah, it's a little creaky.
Nitpicking. There you go. All right. Time for us to wind things up here. Bye to everybody.
Bye, everybody.
All right, that was great fun, but I'm afraid we're going to have to wind things up for this week. Did you know you can email me at allison@podfeet.com anytime you like? I actually answer people, so it's really fun. If you have a question or suggestion, just send it on over. Remember, everything good starts with podfeet.com. You can follow me on Mastodon. Where? podfeet.com/Mastodon. If you want to listen to the podcast on YouTube, you can guess it. podfeet.com/YouTube. If you want to join the conversation and talk to people like Eddie and Alistair, you can join our Slack community at podfeet.com/Slack. You can support the show at podfeet.com/Patreon or one of those one-time donations I mentioned, podfeet.com/donate with Apple Pay or any credit card, or through podfeet.com/PayPal. And if you want to join in the fun of the live show, head on over to podfeet.com/live on Sunday nights at 5 p.m. Pacific time and join the friendly and enthusiastic NosillaCastaways. Maybe you'll be like Ron Hybe and notice that I said the show was starting in October and it was actually supposed to be November today. Anyway, thanks for listening and stay subscribed. Oh, did Sienna type? Starting. I said that almost right. Maybe you'll be like, I'm going to say that again. Oh, not quite yet. Wait. Okay, you can come up here, but wait, be quiet, okay? No. Shh.
Be very quiet.
I type. She said, no. No, not yet. You gotta be quiet. Just wait 1 second. Wait 1 second. Steve, mute. Maybe you'll be like Ron Hybe, who noticed at the beginning of the show that I said it was October 2nd when it was supposed to be November 2nd. You didn't end up hearing that, but the live audience did because Ron saved us. Anyway, in any case, thanks for listening and stay subscribed. Almost.
Okay.
Anyway, in any case, thanks for listening. I think I can cut that to make it not sound quite. Nope. In any case, thanks for listening and stay subscribed. Oh my God. Okay. What are you doing, Sienna? Yeah. Wait. Let me drop the last music and hang on, Sienna. We've got Kepler in here. Wait. No, it's just a second, Linz.
No, go back. Go back.
Sport. All right.
Oh, Kepler's here.
Saving this. Okay. All right.
Sorry, everyone.
Okay. Climb on up. Do you want the headphones?
Mhm.
You want to listen?
There.
Oh, she sees Kevin. Hang on. There might be a message for Sienna. You don't know. Is that okay on your ears there?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hi. Hello, Sienna.
Oh, sorry. They're falling. Hang on. Let me fix it.
Hello, chat
Room.
room.
Sorry.
Hi.
Oh, chapter count. Yeah. Sienna, do you want to do the chapter count?
Yeah.
All right. I
Hi,
count
Grumpy.
4. How many, Sienna? How many chapters?
Oh, no. Don't just start yelling. Oh, you're touching it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, chapter marks. I've got 1,
Hi,
2,
Bruce.
3, 4, 5, Steve.
And
What number did he
Sandy.
say, Sienna? Ask Pip here how many chapters.
5. Hi,
No, ask
Grumpy.
him how many chapters. Say how many chapters.
4, 5.
Well, somewhere between
6,
that.
7.
6, 7. I don't know. Hold on. Let me. Oh, you added a chapter for. You're not listening,
All right,
but
she typed
let's see.
that. Okay.
Update on Unite. 1.
Okay, you are touching too many things.
Okay, Stevie, that was great.
I count 5.
Okay, be careful. Hands up.
6, 7.
All right, goodbye, guys.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No. 6, 7.
No.
Good job.
6, 7. 4, 1.
Say bye, Pip here.
Bye,
Bye, everybody.
Pipia.
Bye, Sienna. See you later. See you in a minute or two.
There.
Thank you, Linz. All right.
So-
we'll be out-
You added
Yes.
a chapter for
Unite is accessible.
update
at
on
the
Unite.
top. Yeah.
So I think 5.
Yeah.
Okay.
Couldn't get Sienna to. Well, Sienna was telling you there were 5.
Yeah. Well, I heard a lot of numbers coming from her mouth.
No, then she said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Because it's 6, 7.
Okay. Forbes is gonna say bye to the chat room.
Bye, chat room. I'll be
In touch.
in the other room.
Not the chat room, a different room.
Oh, I gotta go back and listen to what Kevin had to say. That's weird. Oh, hang on. No, it's not weird. I have the Discord muted. Well, that's
Oh, I do
interesting.
too. Wait, wait.
So
I
couldn't
do.
play Kevin back. Oh, wait a minute. Gotta play Kevin back. This is critical to do this. Okay, there we go. Now I should
Okay.
hear Steve twice. Ooh, it's in sync. Play that
I'm
again.
almost in sync.
That's weird. I still don't hear it.
Um,
Oh well.
Discord.
I don't know why. But I'm going to export.
He basically
this.
said hi Forbes and hi Sienna.
Oh, he did. Okay. That's weird. I don't know why I didn't hear that. Oh, I've already exported it. Okay. I think I'm ready
Yeah.
to call it. This is
It's
9
falling
minutes
apart
early.
right now. Yes.
That was fun. Go Dodgers!
Yay,
Go
Dodgers!
Dodgers!
I think 3-peat. We're looking for 3-peat now.
Three-peat. Oh, Lord. Let's not start that. All right, everybody. I'm going to say, cut us off here. Goodbye. Kill us, Steve.